take you back to a night etched into my memory about 6 or 7 years ago. At the time, I was in my mid-20s, living with my partner in a quaint neighborhood that exuded a sense of tranquility, especially during the fall season. It was a time when the leaves painted the streets with hues of gold and crimson, and the air carried a crispness that hinted at the approaching winter. One particular evening, my partner and I found ourselves at his mother's house, situated on the outskirts of town. She had left for a short trip, leaving us to enjoy the solitude of her cozy abode. With the house to ourselves, we decided to make the most of it, moving the mattress into the living room to indulge in an impromptu gaming session. The soft glow of the television illuminated the room, casting shadows that danced across the walls. As the night wore on, we heard the unmistakable sound of a vehicle pulling up outside. Initially dismissing it as nothing out of the ordinary, we assumed it was his brother returning home. However, our nonchalant demeanor quickly shifted when we heard footsteps approaching the front door. Our 2 canine companions, a pair of lovable lab husky mixes, sensed the tension in the air and began to growl, their instincts on high alert. The creak of the doorknob turning sent a shiver down my spine, and before we could react, the door slammed shut with a force that reverberated through the house. The sound of tires screeching as the vehicle hastily departed only added to the sense of unease that gripped us. We exchanged wary glances, silently questioning what had just transpired. With apprehension gnawing at our nerves, we mustered the courage to investigate, cautiously scanning the perimeter of the house for any signs of intruders. Despite our best efforts, we found nothing amiss, and with a mixture of relief and trepidation, we decided to retire for the night. Little did we know, the tranquility of the night would soon be shattered by a terrifying ordeal that would forever alter our sense of security. In the wee hours of the morning, we were jolted awake by the sound of glass shattering, followed by the frantic barking of our canine companions. Rushing downstairs, adrenaline coursing through our veins, we were met with a scene straight out of a nightmare. 2 masked figures, their faces obscured by darkness, were attempting to force their way into the house through the kitchen window. Without a moment's hesitation, my partner sprang into action, confronting the intruders with a ferocity born out of sheer instinct. In the chaos that ensued, I dialed emergency services, my hands trembling as I relayed our desperate plea for help. But as I reached for the phone, my movements were halted by a searing pain that tore through my arm, a cruel reminder of the dangers that lurked just beyond our doorstep. Summoning every ounce of strength and courage, I fought back against the intruder, delivering a swift blow that sent him reeling. With a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins, I seized the opportunity to escape to the safety of the attic, where I huddled with our dogs, trembling with fear and anticipation. Meanwhile, my partner engaged in a fierce struggle with the intruders, his determined resolve matched only by the ferocity of our loyal canine companions. The sound of sirens wailing in the distance provided a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos. signaling the arrival of much-needed reinforcements. As the flashing lights of law enforcement illuminated the darkness, casting long shadows across the room, a sense of relief washed over us, mingled with an overwhelming gratitude for the swift response of the authorities. Though the ordeal had left us physically unscathed, the emotional scars ran deep, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of adversity. In the aftermath of the incident, we took steps to fortify our home, installing state-of-the-art security systems and reinforcing the windows and doors to prevent any future breaches. But despite our best efforts, the memory of that fateful night continues to linger, a haunting reminder of the dangers that lurk in the darkness. As I reflect on the events that unfolded, I am reminded of the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering bond of love and loyalty that binds us together in times of crisis. Though the scars may fade with time, the lessons learned will remain etched into our hearts, serving as a testament to the strength and courage that resides within us all. When I was around 18 years old, during a school break, my best friend Maggie was staying over while my parents were at work and my little brother was at daycare. Our house was a 2-story L-shaped cabin nestled far off the road, surrounded by thick woods on either side. The front of the house boasted a porch stretching its entire length, with a large wooden door in the middle, flanked by narrow windows. Upon entering, the living room greeted you to the left, while the parlor and staircase were to the right. Straight ahead, at the end of the breezeway, lay the kitchen, offering a view out the window to the back door. A bathroom connected to the living room, which also led to the laundry room. My room was situated upstairs, directly above the parlor. On the day in question, Maggie and I were tasked with completing a list of chores assigned by my dad, who promised us some spending money if we managed to finish everything. I was upstairs in my room, diligently cleaning, while Maggie tackled the downstairs bathroom. The weather outside was glorious, prompting me to keep my windows open. Suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere was shattered by the unmistakable sound of crunching leaves beneath my window. Peering out, I spotted a tall, gaunt figure, a white man, making his way towards the back of the house. Initially, I assumed it was just the electric company meter reader, as the meters were positioned on that side of the house. However, a nagging sense of unease crept over me, prompting me to investigate further. Descending the stairs, I met Maggie emerging from the living room, a troubled expression etched on her face. She recounted seeing a man, clad in a camo jacket, skulking around the side of the house where she had been cleaning. My heart pounded in my chest as I relayed what I had witnessed outside my window. We both exchanged alarmed glances, realizing that something was amiss. Hastening to the front window, we scanned the driveway, but there was no sign of any utility vehicle. Panic set in as we realized the gravity of the situation. Suddenly, Maggie's eyes widened in terror as she directed her gaze towards the back door. There, framed in the window, stood the man in the camo jacket, his sinister silhouette sending chills down our spines. Without a second thought, I seized Maggie's hand and we bolted upstairs, our minds racing with fear and uncertainty. In those days, before cell phones were ubiquitous, our only lifeline was my mom's workplace landline. Trembling, I dialed my mom's office number, struggling to articulate the urgency of our predicament. Though she initially dismissed our concerns as paranoia, my mom promised to contact my dad, who was at work. Minutes later, my dad called back, his voice laced with concern and determination. He assured us that he had contacted our neighbor, JT, whose son, Ben, was at home. Ben, a sturdy lad with a penchant for hunting, volunteered to investigate the situation. Relief washed over me as I heard the familiar rumble of Ben's four-wheeler approaching. Stepping out onto the porch, we guided him to the areas where we had spotted the intruder. With a firm grip on his gun, Ben meticulously combed through the surroundings, disappearing into the dense foliage of the woods. Minutes stretched into an agonizing eternity as we waited in breathless anticipation, praying for a resolution to our ordeal. Eventually, Ben emerged, his expression grave, but devoid of any sign of danger. He reassured us that he had thoroughly searched the perimeter and found no trace of the intruder. Despite his assurances, the sense of vulnerability lingered, casting a pall over our once tranquil sanctuary. We thanked Ben profusely for his bravery and vigilance, grateful for his timely intervention. As dusk descended, casting elongated shadows across the landscape, Maggie and I found solace in each other's company, though the specter of that unsettling encounter loomed large in our minds. We took comfort in the knowledge that we had weathered the storm together. It was a sobering reminder of the fragility of our sense of security, a stark awakening to the harsh realities lurking beyond the sanctuary of our home. In the days that followed, we remained vigilant, acutely aware of the vulnerability that comes with living in isolation. Yet, amidst the lingering fear and uncertainty, there blossomed a newfound sense of resilience, forged in the crucible of adversity. Though the memory of that fateful day would forever haunt us, it also served as a poignant reminder of the strength that lies within, waiting to be unearthed in times of crisis. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the quiet suburban neighborhood where Lily lived. It was the last day of summer break, and she was spending it at home with her younger sister, Emily. Their parents were out of town for a family emergency, leaving the girls alone for the weekend. Lily and Emily lived in a cozy 2-story house at the end of the cul-de-sac, surrounded by towering trees that rustled softly in the evening breeze. As they prepared dinner together in the kitchen, laughter filled the air, a stark contrast to the eerie silence that would soon descend upon them. After dinner, Lily retreated to her room to finish her summer reading assignment, while Emily decided to watch a movie in the living room. As Lily lost herself in the pages of her book, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, a nagging sense of unease that sent shivers down her spine. Suddenly, she heard Emily scream from downstairs, a blood-curdling sound that pierced the quiet of the evening. Heart racing, Lily rushed out of her room and raced down the stairs, her mind spinning with fear and confusion. When she reached the living room, she found Emily standing frozen in front of the window, her eyes wide with terror. Outside, illuminated by the dim glow of the streetlights, stood a strange figure, a tall, shadowy silhouette that seemed to blend seamlessly into the darkness. Without a word, Lily grabbed Emily's hand and pulled her away from the window, her heart pounding in her chest. They retreated to the safety of the kitchen, where Lily locked the doors and drew the curtains, desperate to shut out the looming threat outside. As they huddled together in the darkness, the minutes stretched into hours, each passing moment filled with a suffocating sense of dread. With no way to contact their parents and no neighbors nearby to turn to for help, Lily and Emily were completely alone, at the mercy of whatever lurked outside their door. Just when they thought they couldn't bear the tension any longer, they heard a faint tapping at the window, a chilling sound that sent shivers down their spines. Holding their breath, they peered through the curtains, their hearts pounding in their chests. To their horror, they saw the figure standing just outside the window, its face obscured by the darkness. With a sinking feeling in the pit of their stomachs, they realized that they were not alone, that someone or something was watching them from the shadows. With no other options left, Lily made a split-second decision. Grabbing a nearby flashlight, she mustered all the courage she had and flung open the door, ready to confront whatever lay beyond. But as the light flooded the darkness, they were met with an unexpected sight. A stray dog, its tail wagging eagerly as it gazed up at them with big, pleading eyes. Relief washed over Lily and Emily as they realized that the source of their fear was nothing more than a harmless animal. With a nervous laugh, they scooped up the dog and brought it inside, grateful for the unexpected distraction from their terrifying ordeal. As they settled in for the night, the memory of their scare still fresh in their minds, Lily and Emily found comfort in each other's company, knowing that no matter what dangers lurked outside, they would always have each other to rely on. And as they drifted off to sleep, the sound of the strayed dog's gentle snores filled the air, a reassuring reminder that sometimes things aren't always as scary as they seem.